Okay, so I had someone ask me to do a YouTube video about propagating elderberries. So because I posted on Facebook, I had some elderberry starts. Well, last night when I cut up all my cuttings, I forgot to save one to show you, and it was about dark anyway, so we couldn't really show you in the dark. So I'm just going to show you now how to propagate, and then kind of how to plant it or store it until you're ready to plant. So right here is like a sprout coming up out of the ground. It's not actually the main bush. It's a sucker sprout coming up. And so there were several of them in my outside of my elderberry row. So those are the ones I cut. So for demonstration today, I'm just going to cut off a branch off of my bush, which you can do that. So if you start one elderberry bush and you decide you want more, say the next year, because you're probably not going to have sprouts the next year. These plants have been here for at least 3 years. Anyway, you can just cut off a branch and cut it up. So instead of cutting down at the ground from a sucker plant that I don't want in my row, I'm just going to cut this branch off here for right now. Okay, so then really off of this one you can make gobs of starts. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to just what would be the best one? I think I'll just cut this one off. I'll cut. So you see these little nodules here. You're looking for that, or I can even cut up here. Here's some nodules. Anyway, this is really an old branch. What you're wanting is young branches. So like I said, after you've planted a year and you decide you want more, your bush is young enough that you could use that. This is an old branch, but I can still demonstrate how to do it. So here's a nodule here. So I'm going to cut a 45-degree angle about 1 inch below that nodule. Okay, and then you go up to the next nodule and just cut it. And now you have an elderberry cutting. Okay, and so that part that has the 45-degree angle, you take that, and if you're wanting to directly plant it in the ground, because you can, like right now, I could go ahead and just plant this. So I pick out a spot. This is my elderberry row, so I'm just going to use this as an example, because this is how I originally planted them. So I took a start, I cut off another elderberry bush that was in a ditch somewhere, and cut it exactly like this, and then I just stick it in the ground about 2 inches, and then I water it really good, and I keep it moist and watered just like you would any other plant, and then it starts sprouting. That's how easy elderberries are. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. Now, if you're not ready to plant immediately, then what you could do, and these are what I did with your guys' cuttings last night. So those that are going to be getting their cuttings today or tomorrow, since I just cut them last night, I just put them in water. So same thing, and there's different sizes here, but so I cut them at a 45-degree angle, all of the cuttings, and I've just stuck these in just about 1 inch of water. And like I said, those are going to be for the people who are getting them like within a day or two. That doesn't mean you have to do it this way, it's just one way of doing it. And so then what I'll do is, when I'm ready to deliver them to the people that ask for them when I post it on Facebook, then I'll just wrap them in wet paper towel, and then when they go home, they can just stick them in the ground just like I showed you with that cutting. But then I have people that aren't going to be getting them for about a week. So I could still do this, because you could leave these in a jar if you wanted to at home. Like say you're not ready to plant them directly like I just did the one. You can put them in this jar of water, and like in a couple of weeks they'll start sprouting. they'll actually start leafing out. So they can last in here for a couple weeks till you decide where you want to plant them. Now, and so I could have done that with the people that are getting them, say a week later, but I decided to keep them maybe, I don't know, cooler so they wouldn't start sprouting yet. So what I did was, the ones that are not going to get them till a week later, I wet some paper towel. I soaked it, like got it damp in water, and then put it in the bottom of this jar. And then I put all these little cuttings inside the jar to keep them moist. Okay. And then I put a lid on it. Well, I didn't get it back in there right now. It's too tall. So I put a lid on it and stuck it in the freezer last night. I'll have to deal with that later. And, or not in the freezer, pardon me. I stuck them in the refrigerator. And so they can stay that way for a couple of months in the refrigerator until it's time to plant. So that's just a way to keep them a little bit longer versus putting them in the water, because they start sprouting, leafing out so early. You want to get them in the ground. That's why the people that are getting them a week later, I don't know when they're going to plant, and that's why I decided to put theirs in the refrigerator. And then they'll start leafing out. Anyway, and same thing, you just stick these in the ground just like the ones I did over there, except for if you decide to hold them out on your counter in water or something, and if these start to have roots, then you're probably going to want to dig a little hole like 2 inches down, as big as the stick, to plant them, but you don't break the root system. But as long as you're getting them and planting them as soon as I give them to you, they shouldn't have roots yet. So I hope that helps you guys out. I'll do another video maybe on like elderberry syrup or harvesting elderberries at a later time. Thank you.